by convention, we say, I went to sleep, but I don't remember anything in deep sleep. And then I had a dream, and I kind of vaguely remember some things about the dream a little bit, maybe depending on the dream and circumstances. Sometimes we remember more and sometimes less. But we at least say, well, I remember something. There was something that happened. I remember that I dreamed. And then we say, but now I'm awake and I'm here. So this is because out of habit, we identify with this idea of ourselves as this waking state character. If you examine it closely, you'll see that there is no such thing. It's just an idea. There's just an idea that says that there's a continuity to this waking state character, but in fact, there's nothing other than this present imagining. It's just that within this present imagining is an idea that this is continuous, that there's a past to it and there will be a future to it, and that this is extended through past and future. But actually, it's only an idea happening presently. But then you can see that this waking state character disappears in the dream state, and certainly it disappears entirely in the deep sleep state, the dreamless state. But as I say, I point out out of habit, because we identify with the idea of the waking state character, we dismiss, at least in the waking state, we dismiss that we were fully present in the dream and the deep sleep state. And so just because of that habit, we overlook something which is very important, which is that actually you are always present. There's no other possibility. If that wasn't the case, if there was not a continuity of presence that you are, then you couldn't say that you couldn't have any sense of any of this, because if you are this thing which is bound by time, how is there any one to be aware of this one who's bound by time, because it's disappeared before like it's gone now and then there's a new one, but couldn't be any sense of the past one. So the one who you actually are is the one who's aware, who's continuous, who's always here, and is the same one who's present in the dream state and in the deep sleep state. So if you look and you just were to notice, what is it that is always the case in waking, dreaming, and deep sleep? We could say that deep sleep is sort of the common denominator. In terms of content, it has the least content, so that's like the common denominator, right? Because we could say maybe that dreaming has more content, more substance than deep sleep. Waking has yet more substance and content compared to dreaming and then deep sleep. But deep sleep has the least, so little that unless we're aware at a very subtle level, we would just say there's nothing there. But there's something there. Yogis will identify they say there's a causal body there. It's dormant. But everything arises from that, again, because it's the common denominator. So all of the dreaming and the waking state arise from that. It's just that in that deep sleep state, it's dormant. It's kind of a little bit philosophical, so I won't go into that. But just notice that the main point is that there's somebody who's here continuously, who's aware, who can say, I was asleep. The one you can say, I don't remember anything about it. But it's a bit of a deception. You remember entirely because you remember that you don't remember. You remember enough to know that there was some level of presence, but you just don't acknowledge it out of habit. So that's the common denominator. So can we just discover that that's always here, and then the rest of it is extraneous? We don't actually need to worry about it. You see, in deep sleep state, there's no worry at all, right? There's no concern about anything. All the concerns arise in the dreaming and the waking state. In the waking state, we say of the dreaming state, we say, oh, it was just a dream. How silly that I was so concerned about it. But in the dream, you were very concerned about it, maybe. depends on the dream. But if the dream was concerning to you, then you were concerned. It's only when you wake up that you say, "Oh, it was just a dream. That was silly." But it's funnier that we don't do the opposite, right? It's funnier that when we go into the dream state that we don't say, "Oh, what a relief! It was just waking." Oh, I was taking it so seriously. It was so stressful. Oh, what a relief! It was just waking. But even better, right? If we could say in deep sleep, if we could say, "Oh, what a relief! It was just waking and dreaming." But now here, what a relief, isn't it? It's just such a relief. There's no worry, no concern, no anything. So it turns out the common denominator is really valuable. It gives us an enormous amount of what we really want in life. Don't we really want that relief?